This podcast is a Radio Mike original production. Head to radiomike.com.au to find out more. This episode of Harry Potter and the Boys is brought to you by Radio Mike on Patreon and the 20th Century Boy podcast. Head to patreon.com/Radio Mike and for as little as $1 a month, get a bonus podcast every week. And search 20th Century Boy on your favorite podcast app to hear more from me every week. Hey guys, Mike here, just butting in before this week's podcast to say hello, and I haven't done an owl post on this feed for a while. That is because I've been super busy, and if you listen to my other podcast, 20th Century Boy, you'll know a bit about what I've been up to, but the main thing is I'm working full-time again writing on a TV show here in Melbourne called The 100. That has been awesome. Sammy Garlepp, who has been the guest on the show for the last few weeks as well, is writing, and we're in office together, which is good. So we actually did bulk record a couple episodes of Harry Potter and the Boys. This is the third of the 3 we bulk recorded. So I'm trying to still get these out each week. Sammy has been a huge help making that happen. And I know a lot of you guys really like Sammy on the show. I love having him on the show too. So I'm really grateful to Sammy. So I just wanted to do this message up top. Go and follow Sammy Garlepp on Instagram. He is, we love doing this show. We always have such a great time when we do it and laugh so much. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there on top of the show. I am working on the TV show for another couple of months, so we're going to bulk record a few more when we find time. But yeah, apologies that, again, this show can't always just be a easy once a week show that is just super easy to get done. It is hard, it does take time, but I do love it and think it's the funniest show or the funniest thing of content that I do in my life. So I don't want to stop doing it. So whenever I can't do it, I hope you'll understand that we might just take a week off, and there might not be our posts and stuff like that. But yeah, I hope you enjoy this chapter. We thought it was really fun, and yeah, hope you do too. Thanks so much, guys. Enjoy the ep. 50 years after the final Harry Potter book, Harry Potter is now headmaster of Hogwarts, ready to usher in a brand new generation of witches and wizards. My name's Radio Mike, and I love Harry Potter. In fact, I love Harry Potter so much that when I was a kid, I wrote a series of 7 Harry Potter fan fiction novels. This is book 2 in that series. Welcome to Harry Potter and the Team Wizard Tournament. Everyone, welcome to Harry Potter and the Boys, a fan fiction podcast by me, Radio Mike. This is book 2, Harry Potter and the Team Wizard Tournament, and I am joined by Sam Garlepp. Sammy, over to you.
Yeah, so I'm here, and
so this is the third one of these we're recording back to back.
And well, are we going to tell people that?
Yeah, I think so. Well, now we'll tell them at the end. So they're like, oh, these guys are so committed doing it week by week.
We're in a bit of a silly state, I would say.
We're a bit delirious.
Yeah, more of a state of delirium. We just had a little break and we just played Lady Lumps on repeat for about 3 or 4 times.
We actually, you know what we should tell? The story of when we arrived here.
Okay. So we're recording at the radio station.
Yes.
I guess it's important just so you picture us not in Mike's.
We're not at my house. We're at the radio station we work at.
Yeah.
Next door to the studio that Hamish and Andy record their podcast, actually.
And in the very studio where me and my mate Tim McDonald got our big break, our big start recording digital radio on Triple M Modern Digital in this very studio.
The same studio where the Luke and Lewis show used to happen all those years ago.
And sometimes we were like, we would record our radio show and look next door through the curtains.
Hamish and Andy
are in there
doing their show.
And we're like, wow.
So it is a bit of a rite of passage. I think you start in this studio And when you get onto the big bucks, you're in that studio, and that's why we're in here.
Yeah.
We're not good enough.
I think you go full circle. You end up back here. Yeah.
You end up back here eventually, yeah.
But yeah, we're here, and I had to come and let you in because you didn't have your staff pass.
Yeah.
And miraculously, I still have one.
Yeah, how do you have one? You barely work here.
Exactly. and so people keep pointing out to me when they're like, what are you doing here?
we fired you.
No, but even I'm holding my staff and say, and what are you doing here? I'm like, just
work here.
don't ask.
Yeah.
I've got a staff pass.
No questions asked.
No more. What are you doing here?
Yeah.
Like,
You've just as much as right to be here as anyone else.
Yeah. And they're like, I'm the CEO. I'm like, oh, well, nice to meet you.
Right. As if the CEO's ever here.
No. So, yeah, we're downstairs. I had to let you in, but there's some massive event happening, obviously.
Yeah.
In the next 2 days.
Yeah.
I came down the elevator to get you, and in the elevator with me, with these guys with these giant, like, scaffolding, but on a trolley.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wow, that's annoying. And then I came out onto the ground floor, and there was about 7 more of these guys with...
I was going to say 17.
17.
Small foyer area with 2 lift access points.
Yep. And all these giant scaffolding things on wheels. But you're waiting by the glass door to get in.
The door can't open without a pass, so I'm just standing there.
But also on the inside of the door, it's blocked by all these tradies with giant scaffolds. But
yeah.
And then I'm like, it's very confronting because there's not really anywhere to move. People are trying to get back in the elevator and out of the elevator. And I'm saying, between us is about 3 or 4 giant scaffolds and then a glass door.
Yeah.
And these tradies will look at me like, where am I? I'm like, I've just got to let that guy in.
And it's like, part of me was like, I don't think I'm going to get in here.
Your face looked like, you know what?
We might
have to do this another day.
Yeah.
Because even though I said, I need to get this guy in the building, no one moved. They all looked around, saw you outside the glass, and you looked so...
And then the guy who was closest, because from the inside... So it's a locked door from the outside that you use your staff card to open. From the inside, there's one of those green push to exit buttons that you can open it. So the tradesperson or the guy, the moving guy moving the stuff, one of the 17 guys in there who was closest to that button, just pushed the button as if like, here you go, the door's open, come on in. And I'm just like...
But didn't move. Didn't move.
It was like, can you not see that there is one thoroughfare here to get into the lifts, and you guys have completely blocked it. There's no space here for anyone to move.
And it's the only way to exit. There's 200-300 people that work in this building.
It's the only way to exit. And I'm just like, the arrogance of you to push the green button and open the door and think that's your job done.
Yeah.
And I'm just standing there going, you've opened the door. I can't move anywhere.
It's like in Harry Potter in the Philosopher's Stone when they have to go all through all those challenges.
Yeah.
Like you've opened one door, but there's another one behind.
Exactly.
You know.
And it was one of those moments where, you very clearly said, I need to get this guy into the building, into the lift.
Were I a meeker man, like you wouldn't have got in because as in like
sorry, I thought you said a meeker man as in Mika, the guy who sings Grace Kelly.
I'm actually also not. I'm not a meeker man either.
I was like,
I'm really not a big fan of Mika.
I thought you were going to be like, if I was a Mika man, I would have been like, everybody, we got to love today. Got to love today.
Look, guys, I could be blue. I could be, anyway. No, but when I said I need to let that guy in, everyone looked around going, oh, yeah, and they still didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, and I had to say, so can you press the button to let that guy in? Can you press and I really had to press the button. Press the button. I'm like, he needs to get through we need to go back up the elevator, so you need to move.
It was like everyone knew they had to act, but I think almost like it was a hive mind.
Yeah.
The hive mind was like, this is too complicated for us. And everyone decided not to do anything.
Because no one knew their roles. No one knew where I was going.
There was no leadership, really.
Where were those guys going? There was unclear whether they weren't moving they didn't want to go out. They weren't going in. What were they doing?
The lifts were coming and they didn't get in. They didn't get out. We ended up having to go up the stairs because
we did.
It was just like
they were like, we don't know. They were just like, we don't know. We can't get out of the way. We went up the stairs, the fire exit stairs. Anyway, this is so dumb. But it's just like, how do these things happen in life?
Such a confusing moment because it was like, you all of you must know. You can see that there is no space for any human being to get from this spot A to spot B. You guys know that you're taking up this entire foyer.
But no one was willing to act. No one was willing to solve that. You also, you looked so, like, you were made to feel so small, like you don't work here every week, like every day. Like you're like, oh, maybe I just won't come in.
I was actually like, I honestly did think to myself, I don't know if we're going to get into the building today.
The other funny thing is you actually can go around through Coles.
I did consider going around the back.
There's a little secret way.
But I think a part of me was like, well, why should I?
Yeah, I know exactly. No, why should you? These guys should move.
Anyway, we have to fucking take the stairs. It's revolting.
Wow. Anyway, that was... Yeah, that happened.
It's crazy. And how long have we been going for?
Yeah, I don't want to tell the listeners. 9 minutes.
Oh, cool. Well, that's good. That means we can get started on the fan fiction.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now...
Well, because there was... Okay. With the fact that... So the last chapter we read...
huge.
A lot of stuff was coming together with clown-ish Kim Jiri.
Yeah. Why so robotic?
Because I nearly said clownfish.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Clownish Kim Jiri.
No, and that goes in because remember there was that chapter earlier in the book where the boys are overhearing a conversation between Mr. Charger and Mr. Mooney's Shop of Dark Magic.
Yes.
And they said they thought they overheard something like Clownfish Kimberly. We now know they were saying Clownish Kim Jiri.
Yeah.
And that is, the footprints are there.
Yep.
Go back and listen to the book. All the footprints are there.
Yeah. And we also know that Nearly Dickless Ned had his dick chopped off
by Clownish.
By Clownish Kim Jiri.
Yeah.
Came back as a ghost. He then ratted on... Well, not rat. I mean...
he did rat, but it was
you're going to rat.
It's like
and he's dead.
Someone kills someone. It's like, don't rat. I think we should tell someone.
And it is funny. It opens up a funny kind of situation in the magic world, in the Harry Potter world, where you could commit the perfect murder.
Yeah.
Leave zero evidence. You've thought of everything. Like, you wore gloves, you clean the crime scene, you had an alibi, all this stuff. You could commit the perfect murder, and yet the one thing you can't control is if they do come back as a ghost. Because then they go, well, this guy killed me.
Yeah, you can meticulously plan to a T. You can even frame someone else.
You frame someone else.
And it's like...
You'd be really... pissed off if you're like, oh God, what are the chances my murder victim comes back as a ghost?
Yeah, I mean, because even with the Peter Pettigrew Sirius Black thing, if any one of those muggles came back as a ghost, the whole series wouldn't have happened.
That's so true.
And that is an interesting point. Can I point something else out that I've only just thought of kind of while we were talking about it all, but I'm going to do a bold theory here.
Oh, okay.
Because I just realized... Okay, Clownish Kim Jiri was described like he was bullied at school because he resembled physically a clown. Like he had like a red nose, red hair, he had big feet. He looked like a clown, right? He wore really baggy clothes. Now, I want to put something out there. And they said, I think Squid and John Mooney were talking and they said he tried to change his appearance. Can I suggest that the reason the Nutty Professor keeps coming up in this book is because Clownish Kim Jiri did something similar to what the Nutty Professor does, Norman Clump, I believe, and Buddy Love. Could it be something like that?
God. Okay.
Is that a good theory?
And I'm piggybacking off that theory.
Yeah.
And say that the form he took is actually that of Harold's dad, and Clownish Kim Jiri wrote The Nutty Professor.
Oh, and after his experience.
After his own experience, and he took the form of Harold's dad. That's a pretty shit one. But
that could be the case. Well, let's get into this chapter, which interestingly may develop on this
because it seems like you actually have planned things out.
Finally.
Yeah. Much like
The Nutty Professor.
Yes. And I was going to say, actually, because this actually is relevant now, but another thing I don't think I knew this about the real Harry Potter books is that even when J.K. Rowling had written the first book, she had written the last paragraph of the last book already.
Which is what? Like, Harry's scar hadn't hurt in 19 years, all was well?
Yeah.
Wow. Imagine if that leaked.
So,
Because I remember before Deathly Hallows came out, the big what if was, does Harry die? And if that had leaked, then we would have known.
oh, so true. Yeah. Anyway, that was, so even when she wrote the first book, she'd already written
knew.
that.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see how we go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I realise I'm not even holding the laptop.
Chapter 19 here. Let's get into it.
The Naked Professor.
The Naked Professor. We start by reading the title of the chapter. You've already done it.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
It's
Yeah.
all right, it's
Chapter
all right.
19.
You're finally learning what we do here. It is, I mean, the Naked Professor, eerily similar to the Nutty Professor. I don't think it's a coinkydink.
Can I just say one more thing about
Say
chit
whatever
chat?
you want. Yeah, a bit of chit
So-
chat. Never heard anyone.
So, in favour of the chit chat is my girlfriend Mel. Shout out to Mel,
Yep, Radio Mark.
who calls you Radio Mark.
Yep.
She.
Oh, can I just quickly... Can I interrupt your chit chat for a sec?
Yeah.
When I was at high school and first year uni, I had a girlfriend, Maddie.
Congrats.
Lovely girl. We've obviously broken up like 10 years ago, but she was lovely. Hi, if you're listening. I see you have a new boyfriend now. Cool, good for you.
You told me off air it's not good for you. No, this is the first I've heard of it.
But funnily enough, you just reminded me of this story where Maddie was at uni and one of her friends who knew she had a boyfriend called Michael, like I was known as Michael back then. So Maddie had a boyfriend called Michael. Her friend, sort of like your girlfriend, her friend inquired about me, but she had obviously misheard my name because she was like, oh, how's Marco? And then Maddie never corrected her. So for the rest of the relationship, she thought my name was Marco.
No,
That's weird.
Maddie didn't think that.
No, but Maddie's friend did. How weird is that?
It's weird not to correct.
I know. Be like, oh, sorry, his name's not Marco, it's Michael. But she's just like, yeah, Marco's good. Marco's
good.
She said, I would just say, yeah, Marco's good.
Marco Polo.
And then your girlfriend called me Radio Mark.
Mark, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think, I don't want to put a damper on this, do you think that was a sign that your girlfriend was like, you know what? I think Mike's going to last less time than this thing.
Who cares? Why clear it up?
Why take 1 second to correct her when,
Yeah.
you know, the relationship could be over in 1 second?
I mean, because you'd hate to get to the wedding and not clear it up, but we were never going to get there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I, Maddie, take you, Michael. What? I thought his name was Marco.
I object.
I object.
Can I tell you one more story that just came to my mind?
It's okay. I mean, it's your podcast.
No, the
okay?
listeners will love this.
Okay.
So, and Maddie had a couple sisters as well. And we used to hang out in her, because we were school and first year uni, we lived at home with
And
our
they all
parents.
thought your name was Taco.
Taco, no. So you'll never believe this story. We were upstairs one Friday night just hanging out in Maddie's room, like me and the sisters and stuff, just hanging out.
Yeah.
And like Maddie's sister had this like lotion and, you know, we realized that it kind of looked like cum, right?
Okay.
And some of the lotion
Who realised?
Everyone realised.
And why was there lotion? Sorry, I know there's a
there was
bottle
just
of
like,
lotion.
sorry, just hand cream in
And he's
her
like,
room.
oh, do you want some hand cream?
Yeah, we were just playing with knickknacks in the room,
Sure,
literally like
okay.
hanging out as kids. And
But not kids. You were.
I was 18.
Yeah.
Some of the lotion went on the sheet, like Maddie's sheets, and then Maddie's sister was like, "Oh, it looks like cum. Hopefully, Mum doesn't see that, right?"
Yeah.
I go home that night, get a text from Maddie's mum saying, "Hi, Michael. I've noticed a deposit of cum on Maddie's sheets. Please explain?" ?
Get absolutely fucked.
I'm not joking.
You've got to be joking.
I'm not. I get this because I have her mum's number saved in my phone.
No.
And I just reply,
no.
I just say, sister was, I won't say anyone's names, I'll bleep out the name. Sister was doing this and playing with the lotion and it got on the sheets. Now, I then find out the next day that my girlfriend took her mum's phone and sent me that text as a prank. And I'm freaking out that like, oh my God,
Someone's
my girlfriend's
a
mum.
deposit of cum. That's very.
Deposit
That
of
actually
cum.
sold it for me.
Like, it's what? It's a fucking sperm bank?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Anyway,
That actually sold it for me. The deposit. That what made me
like
think
that's a
was-
very parental thing to say.
But yeah, but then you texted back on the mum's.
What was I supposed to do?
Yeah, but then she's like, "Ha, classic prank." Meanwhile, you've replied the next day. The mum's like, "What are you talking
No,
about?"
but I
cum?"
didn't find out that it was a prank till after I replied.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But then the mum gets her phone back at some point.
I think they deleted it. Anyway, I might cut that story.
Oh
Do you think I should?
no, it's pretty funny.
Okay, cool. We'll keep it.
You can cut some of it.
I'll cut some of
No,
it.
we don't cut something. I mean, if you hear this, he hasn't cut anything. But maybe you have. My point was about 10 minutes ago. I was trying to tell a story about my girlfriend,
Yeah.
who still exists,
Radio
unlike
Mark.
your imaginary. No, she wasn't imaginary. she was
real.
temporary.
She still exists.
And anyway, Mel said she likes the chit chat because she actually doesn't. She often listens to the start of the podcast, but she doesn't want to listen to the fan fiction. She doesn't like the fan fiction.
What? That's the whole point of the podcast.
Yeah, but she doesn't like that because she's like, no, Harry Potter is what J.K. Rowling wrote.
Wow. So
And
does
I-
she switch it off?
Yeah,
So, but what about all the detours in the middle of the book?
that's what I said.
So she won't listen to the fanfic. So she just wants the Sam and Mike show.
Yeah.
Might have to happen.
Okay.
That's crazy from your girlfriend.
Anyway, babe, if you're listening, we don't call each other babe. Babe, if you're listening, you can tune out now because I'm going to start reading the fanfic.
The title of the chapter. 15 minutes in. This is a great chapter
This
for
is
Mel.
some kind of record.
Mel's really happy with this.
Chapter 19, The Naked Professor.
Huge.
Okay, this is weird, and I'm actually scared, said Lockie. Don't be scared. Okay, obviously there's something going on with you and Gemini. The most obvious thing to think is that you're long-lost twins, but I feel like the narrator would have revealed it if you were supposed to know by now. So maybe
That's
just
true.
chill, said Rob. So I feel like the narrator would have revealed it, to you? Okay.
I mean, I think it's very clear that they are long lost twins.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any secret
yeah.
to that.
Rob looked at Lockie, who didn't say anything because his eyes are fixated on something standing right behind Rob. Something that looks terrifying.
Oh.
Also, whenever you write a lot of the time when you write anything, you write it as 2 words, which is annoying.
Oh.
Anything.
Is it one word?
It is.
Oh.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Guys, there will be a cut point there because I just got distracted by Celebrity Apprentice on the TV.
In the radio station. Which
Oh,
is
it
on
is
you.
Matt O'Kine. Look, there's a close up. You guys won't get that because I cut it.
I told her you was him. Okay, so it's funny because right at that point in the book, Lockie was looking over Rob's shoulder at something terrifying, and you were looking over my shoulder at something not terrifying, but it
Yeah.
was Matt O'Kine.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Rob turned around, holding Mr. Charger's secret diary in his hand, only to see Mr. Charger glaring at him.
Oh, no.
It was a never-ending glare that seemed to get closer and closer to him.
What?
I don't know. How much did you read? Mr. Charger yelled as he snatched the book out of their hands. Nothing. We were actually just on our way to hand it into lost property, and we didn't even open it, said Michael. Lost property? You should have brought it straight to me. Everyone knows Barbara and lost property is hopeless. Things just sit there for months. She doesn't even try to find the people who own them. She's utterly hopeless. How does she even have a job here? That is Mr. Charger yelling in all caps.
You've got to just love just the duality
Yeah.
of this man who is so openly murderous and
Yeah.
evil.
The
But-
lost property is not. There's no point doing that. Like you're an idiot for you read my book and you're an idiot. You little fart.
It's just like it's a known thing that Barbara in Lost Property
yeah.
is hopeless.
And what? That's her only job.
She's just employed on Lost Property. Probably a
God.
ghost. Probably got her dick
How's-
chopped off.
Yeah. So how does she even have a job here? I don't know, said Rob. So you little rats didn't open my diary or read anything, right? Mr. Charger inquisited. I don't think, anyway.
Being quiet.
And anything, 2 words again. No, we swear we didn't, said Luke. What about you, Lockie? Did you find anything interesting written in there about you? I'm not saying there is anything. But if you did find something, I'd probably have to kill you, said Mr. Charger.
Well, in that case, I didn't.
No, I didn't, said Lockie. And you boys didn't see anything in there about me having a crush on Hermione, did you? Because if you did see that, that was me just joking around. And I definitely didn't ask her out. But if you didn't see that, then don't worry about it, said Mr. Charger. No, the boys said. And did you say anything about the Voldemort Reunitement Committee and my friendship with clownish Kim Jury at Hogwarts? And how I've been planning to bring back Voldemort and kill Ron Weasley, which I did successfully last year.
So it's funny because, I mean, it's like, you know, he hopes they haven't read it, but in his quest to find out if they did read it,
He's revealed every single thing.
but he has said, I'm not saying
not saying
this is in there, but did you see that?
Yeah. Because they go, no, we didn't see anything like that, said the boys. Okay, good, because I made all that up. Now, don't tell anyone anything about it, okay? All separate words.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
Sorry, man. Sorry
So,
about
13 years
yeah,
late.
Sorry about him. Now, go to sleep now, and no more talking. Those were capitalized.
What? Isn't it the middle of the day?
Yeah, probably. Mr. Charger said as he turned around and walked off. The boys didn't really understand because they were standing up in the middle of the day. They were standing up in the middle of the day. Go to sleep now. They're in a hallway.
No more talking. Mr. Charger's just on autopilot. Like, he thinks he's on a school camp or something.
Well, here we go. But though, Mr. Charger turned around and walked back to them. Sure, it walked back to then, not them. Walked back to then. He began...
Wait, but does that imply he's traveling
travelled
back in time? He walked back.
Duck, we gotta go back. To where? The future. Anyway, I switched characters there.
He walked back to then.
Then I liked it. I like that. Okay. He began sniffing. At first lightly, but then aggressively. Just sniffing away at the boys. So, yeah.
So there's a foul stench in there,
Oh, okay.
possibly the dark farts, maybe.
Finally, finally, he said, on second thought, double trouble. I smell lollies. What? Oh, so he said, go to sleep and no more talking. Walked away. He's walked back, gone. On second thought, double trouble. I smell lollies. What the fuck?
What does that mean, though?
He just probably wants. Yeah, Tom had some lollies from the shops in his pockets, but lollies were banned from Hogwarts. No.
Where does this shit come from?
I don't know.
Oh, you know what would be such a good scene is if, like, Mr. Charger, like, smells lollies? Oh, okay, but there's been no mention of, like, anything to do with lollies in the book. Yeah, it could come up later or something.
Yep. Because then Mr. Charger confiscated the lollies and said, you can have these back at the end of the day. Now, all of you go to the headmaster's office for punishment.
Okay.
That feels like that might have just happened at school to you that day. Because I think at our old school, again, if the first time listeners, me and Mike went to the same school. We weren't in the same year. But, so we had similar experiences.
You were in the year with my brother, Dan.
So we had similar experiences.
Yeah.
And yet, completely different.
This never happened to you?
Then I think they didn't like when you had like a pack of lollies for some reason.
Yeah. I mean, and this is an example of like the school that we went to is like on a very cold Melbourne winter's day. Like they had such strict uniform standards, right? Very cold Melbourne winter's day. Some students would come to school because they were cold with a scarf.
Yeah.
And you would be told to remove your scarf because it's not part of the uniform. And people would be like, but I'm cold.
Yeah.
And then they introduced a school scarf that you had to buy.
Yeah.
For like $40.
Yeah.
That's the kind of like regime we were living under.
And similar with when it was really hot and you had to wear your blazer.
Yeah.
And then it'd be like, you know, it's 30 degrees. I think you didn't have to wear it on the way home.
And then over 40 degrees, undo your top button, guys.
Wow. I feel refreshed already. Tell you what. At 40 degrees, still wear a tie.
Yeah. Is that top button though? Whew. It's letting all the air in.
And
My
I'll tell you
nipples
what,
are getting-
at 29.5 degrees, I'm wearing that blazer. I sure am. And a big, heavy woolen piece of... Anyway,
Yeah. Wow.
let's just keep reading. The boys... Sorry, we're loving this, to be clear. I really hope
down
that
memory
this will be a fun few hour posts for you, I think,
Yeah.
Mike.
See what
Just to
comes
see what
through.
people like. Hopefully after the first episode of these 3 that we're
The
recording,
trilogy.
the trilogy.
This is Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, hopefully that you don't get massive negative reviews after the first week and that you can't put these 2 out.
You know what? The fact that people still listen to this show after the 50 or so episodes we've done, what could get a negative review at this rate?
You know what? You're right. I'm not sure. I feel like we're curating a special kind of audience,
Yeah,
like Joe Rogan.
Yeah. I mean,
I disagree with so much, but then the people that do agree are flock to it.
yeah. But
I hate that
I
podcast.
would love if there's anyone out there, because obviously we now have the 2 polar opposites. We've got the guy or girl who wrote in after the first few episodes saying too much chit chat at the top, get straight to the fanfic.
Yeah.
And then we've got your girlfriend Mel who said, I only want the chit chat at the top, no fanfic.
I know. Now we don't. Yeah, exactly.
So we really don't. We that is to me the evidence that it is impossible for us to please
Yeah.
everyone.
Now we reference that person a lot, though. If you're still listening, get in touch.
Well, you'd hope they're not.
Yeah.
They've given up on it.
Hey, we've definitely abused them many times verbally.
Yeah.
And cyberbullying.
And Amy, shout out to you. The
Yeah,
perfect
yeah,
middle
thank
ground.
you, Amy.
The perfect. I think that's the spectrum. It's the review bomber,
Yeah.
Amy in the middle,
Yeah.
and then Mel towards
And
the other
Amy,
end of the spectrum.
we really appreciate your input. And if you think we're doing an all right job, and tell us to keep it up.
Yeah.
If you know, it's Mike's podcast, but it's your podcast too.
Yeah, I
Anyway.
think it is your podcast, Amy. We do it for you. We think of you every time we do it. So thank you.
Don't isolate that audio. So.
Dear God.
Anyway,
I'm sorry.
sorry, guys. So the boys made their way to the headmaster's office, but they were happy. Even though Mr. Charger had his diary back, they finally had read evidence of Mr. Charger's evil plans, and they could relay all of that information to Harry, who would finally come to his senses and fire Mr. Charger. When they got to the office, they said the password out loud. Lady lumps.
Now, Sam, do you think they referred to boobs or bum or potentially both?
As I've said before, I think lady lumps is an umbrella term for any of women's lumps.
And men's. Well, no.
No.
No, fundamentally, actually.
The office door was closed, and the boys knocked and heard, "Just a minute." They read a sign outside the door. Harry Potter's office. 1. No girls allowed. That's messed up.
The password's lady lumps, but
Yeah.
no girls allowed in here.
Password lady lumps, but then there's a sign when you get past that part. 2. All staff must be naked when entering the office.
Oh.
That's weird.
a HR offence waiting to happen.
3, important one. 3, Voldemort not allowed. Good to put it there.
And you just, I'd love it if, you see Voldemort outside being like, I just want to say sorry.
Voldemort, he's managed to penetrate the
All the
castle
defences.
walls and all the defenses. He's got through everything. He goes, well, that's it, I'm going to... What? Oh, rats.
I'm not allowed. I wish I knew that before I killed all those people to get in here.
Chopped all their dicks off. No,
And then Harry's like, it works a charm.
works charm. Angrily, the boys realised what was going on behind the door because they could hear the voice of Mr. Charger. How did he get there before him? Before them, I think.
Before then?
Before then. I've confiscated the lollies from them. Here they are. And they're probably going to make up some bullshit story about me trying to bring Voldemort back and kill them and you too. But come on. Would I do that to you, Harry?
Have we lost the Stewie Griffin voice?
So am I meant to do that?
I don't know. Just read the character.
I've confiscated the lot. No, I can't. It only works with the
I've
diary.
confiscated the lollies from them. And
And they're probably going to make up some bullshit story about me trying to bring Voldemort back and kill them. And you too. But come on. Would I do that to you, Harry? Overheard the voice of Mr. Charger by the boys. What? That was a very weird way. Would I do that to you, Harry? Overheard the voice of Mr. Charger by the boys. Like, what the hell is that? Would I do that to you, Harry?
Overheard the boys
Yeah.
or something
Or
like that.
the boys overheard. Oh, yeah.
The boys overheard Mr. Charger saying, maybe? Yeah.
Hey, said Harry on the other side of the door. The boys assumed he was giving finger guns to Mr. Charger.
So pause for 1 sec. So Mr. Charger, again, an insight into Harry's character. Mr. Charger's like, yeah, I mean, they're probably just going to make up some bullshit story about me trying to kill you and them and everything. But look, would I do that to you? And Harry, he's so bamboozled by this that
He's like, a lot of details. Hey.
his only response is like essentially to do what like Joey Tribbiani from Friends does. Just be like, hey. Come on, Harry, would I do that to you? Hey.
Probably not. I don't know. He just doesn't know. Harry.
Sorry.
This is funny.
He reminds me of my friend T Money, who
We'll cut this out.
Okay, don't worry. My friend, anyone who listens to 20th Century Boy might be familiar.
Oh, T Money.
My friend T Money. Oh, he used to just as a joke always be like E, and I think that's exactly like. Well, no, I haven't gotten that from him because I wrote this book before I was friends with him. But anyway,
Okay.
It's interesting. E.
Harry came to the door. Both he and Mr. Charger were naked, as per the sign.
The naked professor.
I'll be off now, headmaster, said Mr. Charger. And just a reminder to process my 10,000 galleon raise. Did I give you a raise? Said Harry. Yes, said Mr. Charger. Oh, great. You absolutely deserve it. Come on in, boys. You're going to be in big trouble for what you've done, said Harry. The PA in Harry's office sounded. Attention all staff and students. Just a reminder that Derek is a disgrace to all wizards, said the PA with Harry Potter's voice. Did you have that automated? Said Michael. Yeah, came up with the charm myself. You guys want any lollies? So he said. Offering the boys their own lollies that Mr. Charger confiscated.
Is that it?
Sorry, it keeps going. Oh no, it's not. That's the end of the chapter. That is so funny.
So
So
what was the point of that chapter?
well,
For Harry Potter to let them down again.
and that we just. Well, do we now know you have to be naked in Harry's office for some reason?
Oh God, perfect for boob signing though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you're for it's all staff, I think has to be naked, isn't it? Oh yeah, no, all staff. No, yeah. So the students.
Oh, so the boys don't have to be naked.
That's good.
That's good. Yeah.
Oh
God,
that's funny. You guys want some lollies? That's good. That's a funny ending.
It is funny because it's like
and the PA being automated
yeah.
after all this time. The announcement goes on every day. It's like, oh yeah.
I love how he just like goes from like, come in, boys, you're going to be in big trouble. Oh, is that automated? Yeah, I came up with the job myself. You guys want lollies?
I'm not joking. Now we went to the same school as we've said. I'm not sure if you ever had a legend, Mr. Taylor.
Oh, I do.
He was-
I heard fantastic stories about him.
he
Never
was
had him myself.
My year level coordinator for a couple of years, and he was exactly like that. In that he's a nutter. He's so great, but he would literally carry around just a bag of jelly beans or a bag of lollies, and he would literally just go classroom to classroom, be like, "Hey, everyone, what are you guys doing? What are you teaching in here?" And the teacher's like, "Yep, maths." So, all right, who wants a lolly? And he would then stand at the front, and sometimes he would throw them. And at one time, it was just one guy that'd be like, let's see how many Tom can get in his mouth in a row. And he'd just throw lollies, and he got 17 in a row one time.
No.
And that was in the middle of a different class.
No.
Yeah. And then one time we were getting detention for like moshing someone. I don't know. We're just doing a mosh again.
Yeah.
And the year level coordinator came in the classroom, laughed, watching us. He's like, ha, 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 and he's dragging us. You detention. He's laughing, and then
So he wasn't a psycho like Mr. Charger, though.
Well, he wasn't mean. He was funny.
He was funny.
He was more like
Mr.
Harry.
Charger. Well, I don't know if he was like Harry, who was flung killing curses around
sorry.
in pandemonium. Like, everybody out of the Great Hall!
Yeah, that's so Harry.
Starts
But
with you.
he was just like run around and just give people lollies all the time, especially when you're in trouble.
Yeah, okay. I like that. Wow.
Like that was
The naked professor.
We didn't get many answers there,
No, we just went from one location to the next.
but I feel like now in this next chapter they'll be in the office with Harry,
Mm.
and
I don't think we'll get any answers.
but they'll try to convince him. My prediction is they'll try to convince him that Mr. Charge is bad.
evil. Yeah.
I think it won't work.
And I reckon he'll bring up the black-eyed peas. He'll try to distract them with the black-eyed peas. That's what I reckon.
And it'll work for whoever it was that masturbated to them all the time. Rob. Rob will be like, you know what?
I think it was Tom.
Ah,
He'd get a stiffy
they
and
probably all did
it
it.
would help him masturbate.
who wouldn't? Anyway.
Wow. Well, that's it
Well, that's
for the time being.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That was a great chap. That was a funny chappy.
And I hope everyone's enjoying it. And I hope, but we're all always open
To feedback. Not on the book because we can't change
We
it.
can't change the book, but we can
change the cover.
Oh,
Is that a good saying?
that's pretty good. Do
You
you know
can't change the book.
another little fact I read about the cover of Harry Potter? The
Yeah.
illustrator who was only in his 20s when he did it,
Ah.
and he was still working in a bookshop when they released Harry Potter, and people were like, "Do you know who this guy is? He's the guy that he illustrated the cover."
Yeah.
And they wouldn't believe him because why would he be just working behind the till?
And
I'm like,
wow, that's fascinating.
And just feels like relatable because you don't get paid that much in the arts. Am I right?
Guys,
Pay more to your subscribe to Mike's
subscribe to the Patreon.
I don't get any of it. But
And we will, guys, next episode, Sam's going to bring something big.
ooh, yeah, I am.
Are you? Because I just made that up.
I know, but guess what? I am.
All right,
Well,
awesome.
I brought some big bits of trivia there.
We'll see you next week, and I will get in touch with the show, Amy, you, and anyone else who would like to, radiomikepod@gmail.com. Guys, I'll let Sam end the show this week.
Guys, I would like to end the show by saying, well, as Mike does, goodbye, Hemoras.
Woo!
That felt good.
That was fun, man. That was good. 3 in the can.
That's it.
This episode of Harry Potter and the Boys was brought to you by Radio Mike on Patreon and the 20th Century Boy podcast. For as little as $1 a month, get a bonus podcast every week at patreon.com/Radio Mike. And search 20th Century Boy on your favorite podcast app to hear more from me every single week. See you there. This podcast was a Radio Mike original production. Head to radiomike.com.au to check out all our other content, stay up to date at radio.mike on Instagram, and get in touch, radiomikepod@gmail.com.